Hello, it's Tamara Hunter, and today is day number 142 of 365 Days of Awesome. Celebrate success through service, and we have our service hero, Adam Hommey. Now, let me tell you about Adam. In fact, we're going to tag right now.
Be a good idea so our people can see it on our end as well.
Absolutely.
As soon as it lets you tag.
Ooh. Well, here we go. My hands are so cold, Lisa, that...
Yeah, you're not making connection.
Okay, well, we're just going to...
There we go. Now I'm tagged.
There we go.
All right,
okay.
tag I'm in. Okay.
Okay, so let me tell you about Adam. Adam is... I met Adam not long ago here in Las Vegas, and he has so many wonderful things going on. In fact, you've got a couple books here.
Yes, I do.
And, I'm going to just go ahead and let you start talking about those because, we have been here at the High Performance Success Summit for the last 2 days, and what do you think about it?
I think it's a great event. I'm glad to be here. It's an awesome gathering we're having here in Las Vegas. We have a little over 100 people in the room, I believe, and we're hearing from some great speakers. And what I love about it most is, and I'll just say candidly, it's a lot of people I mostly haven't heard of. So it's nice to get some new viewpoints, and there's a lot of brilliance here that we're just not seeing advertised as much as it nearly should be. So when this happens again in March, everybody should be there.
I absolutely agree. In fact, the thing that I've noticed too is that there's been a variety of types of individuals that you don't usually get at a summit. And that's kind of how we met. We were at an event, and there was a panel, and you were on the panel. And,
yes.
And the things that I really thought about with you, and we were sharing yesterday, I'm like, Adam, I want to talk to you a little bit more. And you started bringing up something that I thought was so interesting, and I want to talk about that. And that's one of the reasons I want to highlight you as a service hero, is that you believe that we should be not turning our clocks back, right?
Correct.
Why don't you go into that a little bit more?
Okay, so as most of you know, a week ago, in most parts of the world, we moved our clocks back 1 hour. And the result is, basically, it gets dark an hour earlier now. As far as it getting lighter earlier in the day, that's actually a very limited benefit, because for adults who are traveling to a workplace or are going out and doing what they need to do earlier in the morning, that hour is not going to make much of a difference. And as far as children at bus stops, chances are that they either picks them up at their house or their walk to their community stop is already well lit. Plus, we have so many advances in the ways of security and safety that some of those arguments just don't hold up, in my personal opinion, and others may disagree, and that's fine. I also, for those who say, well, what about the farmers? Well, it's going to be light the same amount of time, regardless of what hour of the day you start to plow.
Right, and so you also mentioned something yesterday that I thought was really important, and that was even the fact that the daylight that you can get, a child can get, or we can get, it can actually be those vitamins that we might be missing, and there are some health benefits even to the whole idea of keeping that 1 extra hour of sunshine, right?
A kid's not going to get a whole lot of sunshine in the morning anyway, because they're going to be getting ready for school, they're going to be getting to their bus, or their parents or guardians going to be driving them to the school. So most of the time they're either going to be inside, or they're not going to really have much exposure to sunlight anyway. But then when they come home, if it's already dark or getting dark, they don't have that hour. They can at least go outside and play before they do their homework. If they're playing sports, they have to play sports in the dark. If they want to go out in the yard and run around, walk the dog, walk the cat, or what have you, they're not going to have that same benefit of the vitamins coming from the sunlight. In fact, whether you're a child or whether you're an adult, there are a lot of adverse impacts that we get from changing our clocks.
Okay, Tyson, you have a good point there. A lot of people, I love history, and you're right,
yes,
Tyson.
Me too. I love history.
And we used to all be farmers. So many of us had farms. But, I will say there's a few of us that do have those little boxes, in our backyard that we do have some planting.
Yeah.
But you're right. I do agree with you on that. But there's something to be said, I think, and maybe, Tyson, maybe you have another thought. But what I actually thought is that, I hope you appreciate us both. We appreciate you too. You know, and the whole idea here is that when I love people that think outside the box and are willing to stand up for their point of view. And that's the thing I love about you, Adam, and that when we were talking, that's why I wanted to say, you know what? I love the fact that you're taking a stand and it's for others. So, you know, let's talk about about your books and about what it is that you do for, let's say, the day job, right?
Let me get to the books in just 1 second. And I knew we were going to have very limited time. So I pulled up a resource that everybody can follow that explains some of the reasons why time changes are bad for us as humans, physiologically, mentally, and emotionally, and how it also has huge adverse impacts on business profitability, which deals with revenues, which deals with productivity, which goes back to our ability to effectively serve from the intersection of our brilliance and our passion, which is something I'm very passionate about. So if you go to WebMD, or actually, no, I'm sorry, health.com, they have an article called 7 Ways Daylight Saving Time Can Affect Your Health.
Wow.
And as I said, I'm just going to give this to you as a resource because we don't have time to go through all of these. And these are 7 things I agree with. Let me just share just one of them.
Okay.
Let me find the one that I really want to share that's most relevant, I believe, to business creators. Fatigue and cyberloafing. What I've discovered as an adult is that I can still pull all-nighters, but the bill is due immediately. So I might as well just go to bed, right?
Right.
I mean, if I have to run late to hit some deadline, then that next day is already clear because I ain't gonna be able to do it. And that's just a reality when it comes to adults, even our healthiest adults. Just the ability to hold that changes. So what we see in workplaces, what we see as entrepreneurs, as business creators is, you know, you're fatigued and then you're trying to serve in the intersection of your brilliance and passion, or you have people working for you and it's the same thing. Now, we're talking about, in our country, bringing jobs back, bringing industries back. We're talking about revitalizing what we're going to be doing as a country, new investments, new industries, green energy, all kinds of things. We're looking to innovate in this country. This is one of the most exciting times to be in American business, in my personal opinion. If we're tired all the time, let me just share one thing I think puts this all in perspective. And it's very timely that we're having this conversation today. The idea of changing the clocks didn't happen all at once. I mean, there have been various things that have happened in different parts of the world that coalesce into what is more or less an international standard, although some countries, such as China, don't do it. They have one time zone for the entire country, which is huge, believe it or not.
I did not know that.
That's very true.
Okay.
So a lot of this came into play during World War I. Now, today is Saturday, November 10th, 2018. Yesterday is the 100th anniversary of the abdication of Wilhelm as German Emperor and King of Prussia. Yes. He abdicated 100 years ago yesterday, 1 century.
Okay.
And his abdication cleared the path for the armistice, which we will celebrate tomorrow.
Right, okay,
November 11th, 2018 at 11:11 a.m. So we are literally 100 years since World War I. Why are we still doing something that was allegedly designed to help us win World War I? Yes. I thought we had a couple other wars since then that were kind of global in stake. Why are we still fighting that one? Silly.
Yeah, you know, great question, great information, and this is a passion of yours, but it's not really your day job, is it?
Well, it kind of does relate to it in a way. Inside my book, Groundhog Day is an event, not a business strategy. What we deal with are those pesky issues that keep holding back your business success and never seem to go away. And as part of our strategy for helping you work through that, we've designed what's called the Spring Formula. SPRNG. So you think the groundhog tells us whether or not it's going to be spring or not.
Right.
And it deals with 6 areas. It deals with mindset. It deals with prospects. It deals with managing your team, identifying and intaking new customers. Did you know there's a difference between a purchaser and a customer? Just because somebody gave you money doesn't mean they're your customer.
True.
We walk through that.
True.
Then we deal with language and how it impacts our conversation and our mind. And then we deal with how to achieve greater efficiency and maximum results through minimalism.
Oh,
so the reason this
like
this time change stuff comes into play here and why I become passionate about it is I'm going to be either getting involved with or starting a movement that's going to raise this to the attention of our elected officials. Our goal is to get a response from the President of the United States on this.
Wow.
We're going all the way.
Wow.
We're doing it. We're going to get a response from the President one way or another. And regardless of your political leanings, I think most of us will see that we're in a place in our nation's history where that's probably more likely to happen than it's ever been before.
You know, and yes, I want to keep this a non-political issue, because that's not what this is all about right now, guys. This is all about, and why I wanted to highlight it was because of the fact that he was bringing up the health issues is really what I was thinking. And I thought, you know what, that's a good question, and that's a good conversation, and I love the fact that we can bring up these conversations, and I would love to have your input on this issue.
And the reason I brought up getting presidential attention is because where is our president's attention right now? On economics.
Right,
so
and that makes sense.
We can lean on the economic reasons. So the point I really want to make with all that, and I went a little bit into that territory just to get you all to sit up and pay attention, is because when you view things through the eye of the groundhog and you're looking what's burrowed beneath the surface, you can sometimes make those connections because you're looking at the subtleties. And that's what we focus a lot on, is the subtleties and the slight little changes, where I can make that connection between daylight savings time, the president, and cyberloafing. I can put all those three things together, is because we're looking at those little things. We're all talking about grand strategies, big changes. And sometimes the magic is in the small things.
Absolutely. And you know what I love about this also is the fact that we can talk about this.
Yes.
And that you are thinking about doing something that's going to bring a positive change, or let's just maybe put it back, because I don't know that there's many people that are over 100 years old, but there are a few, I'd love to hear from you. But the thought here is that we are here in the land of the free and the home of the brave, and we're going to be celebrating Veterans Day here soon. And I love the fact that we have the free speech, and that we do have an ability to say, what do you think, guys? This is a smart business strategy. This is a smart health strategy. And you're being a service hero right now, Adam, because you're bringing the conversation up. And I so appreciate that.
And I appreciate you, Tamara. I mean, we've had a great time here at this event this weekend. I've been running into you more and more as I have more speaking and appearance opportunities here in the Las Vegas area. And seeing as we're both involved in a lot of great things that involve our brilliance and our passion and serving from our abundance here in Las Vegas, I predict a lot more of this.
Awesome. I'm all for it. So as we close, day number 142 of 365 days of awesome, celebrate success through service. Adam, thank you for your service as a hero, and thank you for this idea. And guys, I'd love for you to be passing this around. Get some feedback. See what people think, and help Adam if that's what you see. If you see that this is something you could get behind, and be the service hero inside of you and say, hey, I want to know more, or I'm in. What do we need to do? Okay? So I think we're going to be going back in there to hear some more amazing speakers. Stay tuned. I'll be streaming. See you later.
Take care.
Bye.